Well, I mean, I can speak specifically to the retail labor market, which is the area that I focus on, and the employment impact is really massive right now. And honestly, it's likely to get worse. 500,000 people were furloughed by department stores this week. Major companies like Macy's, Kohl's, Gap, JCPenney, put both hourly associates and some corporate employees on furlough this week. And, as the shutdown continues, this is going to get worse and worse.
So let's also look at some of the industries most affected. Obviously, we saw the impact first hitting the tourism-related sectors, but now, as you mentioned, in terms of retailers and some of these industries that, because of things like e-commerce, you really consider them recession-proof.
Well, I wouldn't say that, retail is recession-proof. CommerceNext has been doing a number of surveys of the retail community, and we're seeing, almost a tale of two cities. Like 51% of e-commerce sites are seeing an increase in traffic, and 49% of sites are seeing decrease in traffic. And we're seeing this for a few reasons. Consumers are currently focused on necessities and things that make staying at home better. And retailers who are selling those products are winning right now. Unfortunately, if you're selling party dresses or luxury items like handbags, those are very difficult to sell in today's economy.
So where would you say are the hardest hit regions of the country?
I mean, New York is obviously very hard hit. We have the largest percentage of coronavirus cases, but from a retail perspective, almost the entire country is shut down. Besides stores that are selling necessities, the entire physical retail footprint has been closed down, and consumers are just staying home and being advised to social distance.
Now, we've already seen weekly jobless claims skyrocketing to record highs. Any idea of what we can expect for next week's data?
I am not an unemployment expert. I'm much more of a retail expert, but I can tell you that, from a retail perspective, stores are closed right now. Most retailers I speak to don't think they're going to open up until mid-May, early June. So, that's not promising. Retailers can keep their employees on payroll for so long, but at a certain point, they're going to have to make the difficult decisions to let them go. And then even when we move into recovery, it's just going to take some time. Consumers have had a very difficult few months financially, and it's going to take time to get back to pre-COVID levels.
So we've obviously seen the Trump administration come out with a number of different responses and breaks and tax breaks and things, but how far does that go to offset the damage that you're seeing with the retail industry?
Well, most of the programs that the Trump administration has come out with are helping small businesses. They help with unemployment. I haven't seen anything that specifically helps with retailers with rents or large employers who are having to make very, very difficult decisions to lay off and furlough employees.
So then what about the timing? Obviously, a lot of this is sort of trickling out. What about the timing and the importance of unemployment and stimulus checks? Because as we know, a lot of people, they're desperate. They're turning to food banks for their next meal.
Well, the timing is imminent. The administration said the initial checks for the $1,200 that will be delivered are coming in the next few weeks. And I know, unemployment claims have been on the rise, and they're adding dollars. The federal government's adding dollars to the basic unemployment that's out there. I think help is on this way. It's just a matter of time for it to get through the system.
Now, it's interesting because after the 2008 financial crisis, jobs did come back, but not the same sorts of jobs. We saw a lot of part-time jobs and a lot of gig economy jobs. So with businesses being blindsided and asking for bailouts and cutting staff, how do you see the labor market perhaps reshaping after the pandemic?
Well, I think that there's a lot of interesting consumer behaviors that shifted. First of all, take grocery, for example. Grocery has been impacted in a positive way by this pandemic, where online grocery in the past was a very, very small portion of overall grocery spending. These days, you're seeing 2,000% growth in download of grocery apps. So you're seeing that sector grow tremendously. As consumers become more confident in shopping online for groceries, you're going to probably see a decrease in foot traffic in grocery stores over time. So I think that's just one example of a rapid acceleration of consumers' purchase into digital versus kind of traditional bricks and mortar stores. And I think you'll see that more and more as this pandemic keeps us at home for longer and longer.
Veronika Sonsev.